In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Nah, I tell you, I'm all charged up after that. Yeah. Welcome once again. It is time for the Comics Coffee Table, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Turn on those notifications, ring that bell, and smash that like button if you could be so kind. We're a humble, growing YouTube channel, and we congregate here daily to have a geeky, chill stream. We're taking a break from our day. Grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. Bring a snack. Pull up a chair. Leave the real world problems over there. Oh, I should have riffed and made that a mantra too. But the coffee table is where my friends and I would always meet. And there would always be a stack of movies, a stack of video games, a stack of music, a stack of books, and a stack of comic books, and maybe a beer or a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or whatever it is, depending on what kind of day or mood we're in. And we'd just hang out and talk and watch movies and turn each other on to whatever it is we're reading. That's what friends do, right? It's not about sex and owing money. Oh, boy. And, but yeah, so the purpose of this show is that I am going through my entire comic book collection that I've accumulated over the past 2 decades. And I am reboxing, reboarding, rebagging my entire collection. Along the way, I am trying to develop a better sense of a facet of my hobby that I've never really paid too much attention to. And I'm using these 2 books, the Overstreet Guides. There are links in the description for these 2 publications. You can also ask your local comic book shop. They might even have them on their shelves alongside the graphic novels and things. Just ask the staff and they'll be happy to help you. My parents gave me these books for Christmas last year, so this season is dedicated to my parents. Thank you. Mwah! I love you. And, but yeah, the Guide to Grading Comics, the 10-point standard rating scale, that number that's on top of your slab, and the Overstreet Guide, the price guide, and the comic book price guide. Yeah, this is what the 2nd year in a row I've got one of these. I'll get it again next year, and I'll get it again the year after that. Exactly. And if they update this is the last update, 2021, 6th edition, and I'll update that as well, because this is great information. And I'm not a speculator, I'm not in the hunt or the game, but have you ever looked at your comic book collection and just outright wondered, how much is all this stuff worth? And so it's been fun just getting my head around grading and what this could be potentially worth, what I could, maybe possibly speculate what I could get if I bundled them. But also the most sobering thing has to have been hitting the dollar bins at the last convention I went and seeing such great condition comic books being sold for $1 or less, such as Sunday or Last Day of Con. And the closer you get to closing time, the cheaper those dollar comics get sometimes, or some vendors. But it's is this really worth it? But it is. This is fun. For me, this is a great excuse to do something what needs to be done for my collection, and that's new boxes. They've done their job. They've protected the comics. They definitely need replacing. Boards. I should have been using boards the entire time. It seems my entire collection suffers from spine roll, light to moderate. They're in great condition, and but just the spine roll and the occasional corners, those are the dings that are going to take value away from that comic book. So I'm into reading comic books as well. I don't even have a slabbed comics. If would I ever? I don't know. I never had a chance. Nothing's ever really crossed my mind that I could afford, that I think that would be cool, But comics are for reading. I'd rather have a readable copy for my spinner rack that's gonna last me, well, the rest of my life. Hopefully, these are already. I get a lot of Bronze Age babies. These are comics that are on newsprint that are 40 years old. So, will they last another 40 years? We'll check in then. I promise. Ha ha! Huzzah! Thank you so very much. I'm going to my comic book store, my comic book shop every Wednesday now for new releases. And anything I pick up on Wednesday, I cover on every Sunday. Sunday is the new release review show. So if you're wondering what I picked up yesterday at my local comic book shop, the LCS, the mom and pop brick and mortar shop that's in my village square, and you'll find out on Sunday. And while I'm reboarding, rebagging, reboxing my entire collection, guess what? I need supplies. Chances are you may as well. Where and how do you get your supplies? Well, guess what? I've made the commitment to getting my supplies at my local comic book shop. Why? They need our patronage. So I'm making the conscious choice not to use the big box store and to not use the reliable online supply chain. The one with the free shipping and the built-in movie network. You know what I'm talking about. I could be getting a price cut there too. But guess what? How is that helping keeping my local comic book shop open, which is a local business, especially one that survived lockdown 2020? Our local businesses need us. So go and spend your money there. If that's what I'm doing with my sense of activism or evangelism, or I am an ordained minister. So get thine ass back to thy LCS. I call it Holy Ground, Highlander, or Holy Ground, Batman. The LCS, the local comic book shop. It's where the good times roll. It's where we see real people, other comic book fans. Usually nice people too. They just might feel differently than you. They just might be a current X-Men reader and they might be loving it. What are you going to say to them? The stuff that we say to each other on social media? I'm not going to be unfair to somebody like that. No, I'm going to encourage them. I'm going to ask them why they like it. I'm going to ask them who are their favorite characters, who are their favorite writers, who are their favorite artists. And if they can't answer those, point that stuff out to them and be like, well, here's the indicia. Here's the credits. This is who's writing. This is who's, it's wonderful what we do. I love talking about comic books. Every day, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, you're invited. We have a great live chat premiere. And if you miss that, well, don't worry. You can still contribute to this ongoing comic book shop style conversation in the comments section. Keep it continuing. Thank you so very much. Let's get down to it. We're going to start bagging and boarding. Oh yeah, but I like showing the visual example every time. I'm getting my boxes at my local comic book shop. Getting, I need more bags. Getting bags. I need to find, and next time I'm there, I need to ask about Mylars. They haven't been there, and they were hard to get, but I could get them on my online supply chain for a discount too. But how is that helping keeping my LCS open? And I'm getting my acid-free, one-side coated comic book backing boards. Yeah, that's in addition to what I'm getting weekly. So it's like, yeah, please get your supplies at your local comic book shop. They would appreciate your patronage. And as we go long box diving again, we are trying to migrate my collection. I have about 7 or 8 long boxes. They've been going on. They're my accumulation of comic books since the early 21st century. So it's about 20 years worth of funny books, floppies, periodicals, and this is a good example why I need new boxes. This is about 15 years old. It definitely needs, I definitely need a new box. It's done its job. This is like torn and blown out, and this was a beer that blew up in my closet. And guess what? My long box did its job and protected the funny books within. Thank you, long box. You have done your job. You may now retire to the recycle bin. And I don't mean that like the British way when they say, get in the bin. That's like, they're telling you to slag off, yo. Bollocks to you, mate. Now, that would be funny if we were doing John Constantine, but we're doing Green Lantern today. I have all right, let's look at them. This is a stack of Green Lantern funny books, and this doesn't even include Blackest Night, because Blackest Night is over in my Crisis Long books. I got a feeling that after we board these, all of them, it's probably going to take up one short box, or close enough to it. And I'm ready for that. I'm here for that. So yeah, these are all 21st century Green Lantern funny books. They're in numerical order of cover date, of cover issue. There are occasional issues of Green Lantern Corps interspersed in between, and in between issues 22 and 29, I got this. Green Lantern Sinestro Corps War and Blackest Night. Oh, the Sinestro Corps War is in there too. So that's definitely another stack of comics, which are probably as thick as this. But let's get to it. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Let's get organized. Get organized. We used to say in woodshop in high school, I went to a trade school, measure twice, cut once. All right. Green Lantern started. Hello, why don't you look at the TV? Why don't you look at the camera while we're on TV? Hello, that would be polite. Sorry, I'm just getting my bearings here. Oh, well. It appears we're going to have about the first 50 issues of Green Lantern, Volume 4. Let's double check that. Because sometimes these Green Lanterns don't say what volume they are. I mean, or these later volumes don't say what volume they are. They'll say, like, yeah, exactly. Green Lantern 1. I live down the street from a fire department, so get back home safely, girls and boys, and I hope you save lives. So yeah, that's Green Lantern number 1, but we're going to get to that in a second. But like I said, notice that they're in the indicia that there's no volume number there. And I always find that interesting. Like, then what's the big deal of a volume number if you're not going to use it? Or who's the keeper of such, privileged information? Well, it's Overstreet does. Well, let's look up Green Lantern. And I've kind of it's like, I figured out that like the issues number 1 aren't as, they're not as valuable as first appearances. Oh, here we go. Damn. Come, the computers are smashed. We need time. Ah, it is 4th series. Green Lantern 4th series follows Hal Jordan's return and rebirth. And, yeah, I get Green Lantern rebirth. Yeah, they're worth their cover price, of course. Yep, worth their cover price. And I have a variant cover. And it's really 2 covers by Pacheco. And that would be worth $5. And everything else, 2 through 20, are worth $3. And issue 25 is worth $6. I'm just like going over it now because it's like, unless it's a first appearance, don't bet on any of this being worth anything more than its cover price, and that's at a 9.2, a near mint minus. See the legend up top there? Hey, see, you got some Green Lantern, right? Huh? Yep. It says GD 2.0, VG 4.0. That's, very good. FN 6.0, that's fine. VF 8.0, that's very fine. Very fine / near mint is a 9.0. And a near mint minus is a 9.2. And that's as high as that gets. You see that right there? That's like Green Lantern number 1. It's worth how much? Green Lantern 2 number 1. Wow, that's $1,800 for that Gil Kane. Wow. Green Lantern started in All American Comics number 16, July of 1940, way back in the golden age of DC Comics. And then was rebooted in the Silver Age for the Space Age. Anything else here? What's the highest? Okay, issue 50, the Jim Lee variant is worth $12. I mean, that's about it. Secret Files, that's a hardcover. Yeah, and then it gets into the different blah, blah, blah. Yes, and I did not do any... I don't think I did any new 52 of that. Alrighty, to the bat polls. So yeah, so it's not like any of these are going to be worth... None of these like skyrocketed in value, and that's the speculator angle. I'm just trying to figure out if I bundled this, what can I sell it for? Would it be, it's not like I'm trying to make a profit, but it's not like that would hurt either, But let's start getting to it. I mean, I came into it late because I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what's going on. It is April of 2005. I've just coming back into comic books a couple of years before that. Did not know who Jeff John was. I barely know who Ethan Van Sciver was. And because I read New X-Men by Grant Morrison, issue number 114. That's where I came back. Well, technically the E is for Extinction first trade paperback that included the Morrison Manifesto, and I think the annual at the back too, the 2002 with that great art by Francis Lennell Yu. It was done in that widescreen format that was huge back then. Remember that was a trend and a buzzword. But I don't know why, but I was like, I was reading Green Lantern before this as well, and I was actually a pretty bigger fan of Kyle Rayner than not. I was actually last year I saw Ron Mars at the Boston Wicked Comic Con, and I was like, I waved to him. I was like, Ron, thank you for all the Kyle Rayner. I was a fan when it wasn't cool to be a Kyle Rayner fan. And I got a thumbs up from him. That was nice. But I do have Green Lantern Rebirths 5 and 6. Great place to pick up. You know what I mean? When this comes into... we come into the story at the beginning, and it's Green Arrow, and he's got Hal Jordan's corpse. Hal Jordan's suffering from a case of comic book death at this moment. He died. Not so heroically either. And also the power of retcon. Way back in 1993 with the death of Superman and his return a year later in 94 came the destruction of Coast City. That's Hal Jordan's stomping grounds. That's his home city, man. That's his hometown. Coast City, California. That's the home of Ferris Aircraft. And that's where he grew up, and he was so racked and remorse with guilt and feeling powerless that he went power mad. We took what we call in the wrestling biz a heel turn. He was a baby face, and he took the heel turn. He was a face becoming a heel. The heel being a bad guy, and he became something known as Parallax, and he absorbed all the power of the Oa battery, and then was killed by Green Arrow, I guess, in the final night, and then in Zero Hour, and yeah, comic book convolution. Bottom line is Hal Jordan, the Silver Age Green Lantern, was knocked down off of his pedestal. This is 30 years ago, so there's nothing like destroying superheroes and bringing them back is nothing new. It could have been kind of invented here too. So yeah, that happened 30 years ago in real time, and where Hal Jordan was the best of the Green Lanterns was knocked down, and so he was killed. He was turned into an enemy and killed. Sorry, and eventually he became the host of the spirit called the Spectre, the Golden Age spirit of God's vengeance. Yeah, and it was interesting, sure. And as the Spectre, he brought Oliver Queen back to life in the Kevin Smith books. Kevin Smith, the actor director, wrote some comic books, and then some of them were actually pretty good. I'm not a Kevin Smith hater. I love Kevin very, very much. So yeah, this is Green Lantern Rebirth, number 5, and this is where I repick. I think what it ended at 181. That volume 3 of Green Lantern. That was the end of Kyle Rayner's run. And then Kyle Rayner's battery is actually holding all the spirits of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Guardians of Oa, the Little Red Men. So along the way, Kyle becomes the Torchbearer, and this is Act 3. This is the return of Hal Jordan. So I skipped ahead. I wouldn't, I omitted the first 4 issues, which I felt were just all build up. There's Sinestro. And this is really great art by Ethan Van Sciver. And really good inks by Prentice Rollins, too. And this is really good pacing. Look at these. This is like, it's a paneled up splash page. And he's just back. And look at that. I like that. Because he's the man without fear. On the DC end of things, that would be Daredevil, Matt Murdock over at Marvel. And the classic fight between Sinestro and Hal Jordan. It's great. And then over time, Ethan Van Sciver gets to, and we're going to see it very shortly, gets to design a Lantern Corps based after Sinestro. So he loses the that collar, and it looks a lot like the Super Friends version. Super Friends, 1970s cartoon. And let's look at some ads though. We have an Xbox ad. We love looking at ads here and look at here, up here, eyes up. That is the legendary DC Bullet logo. That was that's been going on since 1977, I believe, when they made the choice to drop National Comics publications for just DC Comics as their brand name. And this will change very shortly. We're going to get into the new swirl. I know there's like better terminologies for it. But yeah. Trivial Pursuit, The Lord of the Rings edition. I wonder if this holds up as a game. I mean, seriously, this is like 2000. This is cover date of May 2005. I mean, and there's very few dings in this comic book. This is a really tight comic book. This cover art right here is one of the faces of the Green Lantern franchise. Just to let you know that you may have seen this art before. He lampoons this art again later on with the Sinestro Corps War, and also based upon a JLA cover with they're all kind of impaled on thorns on a tree of woe. But this is iconic, and it was drawn by an up and coming master. I really like his style. I like his art. Yeah, here's that's the last panel right there. Written by Jeff Johns, Ethan Van Sciver. What a great team they were. Yeah, we're just gonna look at this, The Incredibles. And that's a video game. So we've got 2 video game ads so far, huh? 3, make that 3. Freedom Force. On this is for your PC. So this was like playing a video game. I mean, playing a comic book on your as a video game, like a new comic book story. We've got card games. So we've got 4 ads so far. They're all games. And I like the use of shadow, that Hal's meant to be like working in the light, and Batman is often adversary. You know, they don't really like kind of get along. Who's also Van Sciver too, who puts you the holographic Green Lantern sign in front of Hal's chest logo. That was for it's kind of like a signal, like a police siren thing, and that gets added to Guy as well. Look at this phone! Oh my gosh, that flip phone. Sprint. I'm on Sprint. Well, it got absorbed by Boost, which got absorbed by like what Virgin. I was by Virgin. Yeah, and here's the famous revenge for Batman punching Guy. Look at the face. Look at the face on Guy Gardner. One punch. Once and that's the punchline. Get it? And they never really got along. That's the joke. Guy and Hal. They've always had like a frenemy relationship. But yeah, I mean, this is some great art. This is like the great story. And look, 2 ads for Trivial Pursuit. Oh, this is the DVD version. Oh, they're both the DVD version. Okay. So you need a DVD player, which lots of people may not have these days. There's Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern of the Golden Age, with his daughter, Jenny Lee Hayden. And, oh yeah, the whole retcon thing is, so Parallax is that yellow creature right there. That is the spirit of the yellow power of fear. So the Parallax infected Hal Jordan. It wasn't his fault. That's the retcon. True. So Parallax is now not just the character name that Hal Jordan took. No, it was the yellow fear entity, a parasite that lived within Hal Jordan, that took him over control of him and used him as a puppet. And it actually was the yellow lantern energy who hated the Guardians for imprisoning it inside the green power lantern. And then eventually things all settle down. You might remember this from the movie if you saw the movie. But these are great panels, though. Look at that. Who is that? Is this over here somewhere, right? That is Carmelo Anthony. He just retired. Wow, how old is this? This is a 17-year-old magazine. Gee, huh? How about that? Hey, look, a Spy versus Spy Xbox game. So yeah, how many video game ads so far? 4, and a card game ad. Okay, now we got 5 video game ads out of how? Wow, who is this being marketed to? Exactly. And now we have the resurrection of the Guardians, the restoration of the central power battery of Oa, and forthcoming, the resurrection of the Green Lantern Corps. And the Green Lantern Corps was it's not the universe, it's the galaxy, it's the Milky Way. And if you took the central hub of the galaxy, where that super giant black hole is that's pulling us all together, that's where Oa is, at Sector 0. And then the galaxy is sliced into 3,600 slices of pizza after that. Each one of those is a sector, a numbered sector that that is the Green Lantern's beat. The Green Lantern is like the a cosmic policeman. We're in sector 2184 out of the 3600 the 3600 sectors of the galaxy. And what this does, it bumps it up to, because there's so many earthbound Green Lanterns, because it's our story. Everything happens here. It's like, oh, why is everything so Earth-centric? Durr. How about Durr? Is that an appropriate answer? So what came out before issue 1 of the new stuff? We got some Carlos Pacheco art. We got some. He's passed away too. And eventually Ivan Rice comes on this, and we got a lot of Ethan Van Sciver covers and pickup art here and there. Oh, look at this Darwin Cook art! Another one gone too soon. Look at that. I love that. Look at these panels. So yeah, this is like an anthology. It's like a who's who. These are great. These Secret Files and Origins issues are great. They're a little bit pricier. They're a little thicker. This is great condition. I got dings on the back. Of course, we got spine roll, but everything else looks high and tight. And so this is just a great jam of different artists. And it's really good. With the Lord of the Rings. We got all the Green Lanterns at the time, and we got more Earth Lanterns too. At least 3 more Green Lanterns besides John Stewart, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, Guy Gardner. Now we've got Simon Boz, Jessica Cruz, and Joe Mullen. That's 3 more Earth. So we've got 7 Earth Green Lanterns. We're not even counting Teen Lantern, because I don't count Teen Lantern unless you know. But here, oh wow, like Ethan draws great horror. Look at that. Look at this. This is called The Day Before. And this is how. These are great panels. I love his art. Did he get? Oh wow, this is He's got no inker, so this is when he starts inking his own stuff. There's the Spectre, Hal Jordan as the Spectre, and getting into a fight with his other personality. Ooh, some great art. Look at that, and look at that, the Nintendo DS. We gotta wrap this up, but it's just the beginning of this huge chunk of Green Lantern books that we have to rebag, reboard, and rebox. And along the way, I'm going to try to mentally be like, okay, how much could I get for this as a bundle, Yeah, see, Parallax. See, it's as soon as sentient beings felt fear, Parallax was born. Yes, first appearance, Green Lantern Rebirth, number 3. Yeah, it was the yellow impurity that was in the lantern. That's why there was the old style thing of Hal's of the Green Lantern ring, being susceptible to the color yellow. Because we're gonna get into that tomorrow when Pikachu becomes part of the Sinestro Corps. He's already yellow. He already matches. I've got one for every color. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. We've been talking about comic books. We're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. You know my style. I take one of these old bags I'm throwing away, and I crumple up, and I fill up the other ones, so that it's not on the floor and I don't slip and fall again. That was horrible. Thank you so much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. If you haven't subscribed by now, well, now is a great opportunity. Now is always the best time. And, here we go. Reboxing, rebagging, reboarding, just giving back some love to my comic books. That's given me so much love. That's great. Here we are. One piece of tape. There we go. Cheers. And that's the name of the game here. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.